Hello everyone, welcome. It's been only a short, maybe 12 and a half years since we have had another NECA live, and it is amazing to see so many familiar faces joining the conversation live here on LinkedIn, YouTube and Facebook. So many of you are coming in and joining the NECA family, and I've got to tell you, this is a really exciting episode full of amazing announcements. We've got a brand new face here on NECA Live who I'll be introducing really soon, and a couple of returners who, let's face it, without whom we would not have a NECA, never mind a NECA Live. My name is David Meade. I'm your regular NECA MC at the NECA Convention and Trade Show. This is the live show that we produce just for you, our NECA community, on LinkedIn, Facebook and YouTube on this beautiful Thursday. I say beautiful, I'm in Ireland and it's absolutely terrible outside. However, we are here to bring you the latest and the greatest news from the wonderful world of NECA, the National Electrical Contractors Association. This week, we have got so much to cover, so make sure that you have got a coffee handy, ready to make sure that you don't miss a single second. We are going to be talking about two phenomenal events, both coming next month. So get your calendars ready and make sure that you're getting things scheduled in. First, I'm excited to unveil that the NECA Bixi Summit is happening May 23rd to 25th in sunny San Antonio, Texas. Now, I don't care where you are in North America or where you are in the world, you should be in San Antonio, Texas. It's a beautiful place. It's very similar to Ireland, frankly. And those two industry giants have come together to address the needs in the low voltage and technology communities. It's an amazing opportunity to bring them together to achieve more than the sum of their individual parts. The conference includes panels led by our very own NECA contractors who are facing it at the very front line with sessions on integrations, on smart buildings, on internet protocol and so much more besides. And of course, you'll know there's some pretty phenomenal networking at all of our events as well. But just a week before that, we've got the NECA Safety Professionals Conference. That runs May 16th to 18th. And we are so happy to announce that this is returning to in-person for the first time since 2019, I think it was appropriate to have a round of applause because I know how important it is for you, ladies and gents, to meet in person. You will have the chance to hear from industry experts and safety leaders on the pressing issues that your organization is facing, from inside and outside line electrical construction to risk regulations to mental health and so much more. We here at NECA want to make sure that we share these values far and wide across your organizations. Safety is not a secret. It's at the center of everything that we do. And guess what? You can register for both of these conferences right now, and it's really easy. Go to necabixi.org and necasafetyconference.com to register for these two cannot miss events. So we want to take a moment to talk a little bit more about the NECA Bixi Summit and why your attendance is crucial. And I am delighted to be joined by Jeff Beavers, NECA Executive Director of Network Integration and Services, to talk about his background with Bixi and why this is a dream come true partnership. Jeff, wonderful to meet you. Thank you so much for coming and joining us. This is your first ever episode, Jeff. Tell me, how do you feel?
Hey, glad to be here. Pleasure to get acquainted. Look forward to more collaboration in the future. So,
well, it is great to have you. And, you know, it's wonderful to have your experience and your expertise. And how has your time been at NECA since February, Jeff?
Yeah, you know, I think before I came over to NECA, I heard about NECA, and it was about relationships. And everyone here has been so gracious and welcoming. And so I found that to be the true, whether you're in Sioux City, Iowa, where I'm at today, or Texas, or, you know, anywhere, they've been very welcoming. And so I'm glad to be here.
Wonderful. Well, look, Jeff, you go back with Bixi quite some time, and it turned out you were the president of the organization at one point in the past. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience with Bixi and, why both organizations make such a perfect team for this summit?
Yeah, no, I was blessed to have been able to serve as president. I previously was South Central Region Director, and then I was elected to become president-elect, and then I had a term as president. And, both organizations exist for the members, and our members are passionate about the work we do and the path we create for the generations to follow. There's no monopoly of good ideas, and so member involvement, especially at the local level, where they know what the industries are, what the trends are, and what the environment is. So that engagement is crucial to advance our industries. And there are NECA members who are also Bixi members and credential holders. So I look at Bixi as a recognized leader in standards and best practices, and NECA and our members are recognized leaders in the design, the installation, the integration, and maintenance. And so we're partners in leading the adoption and ushering in new and emerging technologies. And David, our customers and clients will look to us for solutions to their unique and diverse systems and applications.
Absolutely. And you mentioned that word partnership. And I really do think that this was a partnership that was born to work together. And I know earlier I mentioned that some NECA names will be joining us. Could you tell us which industry figures can we get excited about joining us? And why is their expertise on these sessions so incredibly valuable for us to attend and hear?
Yeah, no, that's great. And that's a tough one, because I would say all sessions and subject matters experts they're diverse in our industry. And, every industry today has connectivity. So it's so diverse. But, our NECA's Technologies, Systems Integration Task Force, they put together a strong lineup of industry leaders. And, choosing to attend this summit is the easy one. The hard one is trying to find, choose which summits and figures you want to see. But the NECA presentations and panels you want to see, you're going to have Ron Clarkson from Rosedale Electric. He's going to have a two-part series on how and why to get into the network integration business. And you're going to see from him and others who they've grown exponentially in that industry. And so you're going to learn from folks like him. Then there's the panel moderated by Skip Purley from Thompson Electric. And on that panel, you have Jim Teal with BW Systems. You've got Bob D'Agostino from D'Agostino Electric Services, and Chuck Fairchild from Fairchild Systems. And they're talking about right-sizing areas of integration and services. So they're going to speak from experience on getting into the low voltage market and how they grew their businesses, added services, whether it's telephone systems, audio visual systems, or access control, security, fire alarm, you name it. And then which markets: enterprise, military, K through 12, aviation, healthcare, data centers, sports and entertainment, just to name a few. So you're going to find some good networking and some mentors in building your business with that group.
And I think sometimes just being exposed to those mentors so that you can hear about their ambitions, their challenges, their opportunities is a really big part of the insight. And I know another big part in these conferences, similar to the MEP Innovation Conference earlier this year with SMACDA and MCAA, is that building relationships and connections with other organizations really does help us move from good to great. We can't just remain in our bubbles, and those interactions really do help us expand. How will we as NECA be able to network and exchange ideas with Bixi so that we can take information back to our organizations and, instead of just knowing it, actually do something with it to help us grow, Jeff?
Yeah, no, I like the term, again, partnerships, because we're all partners in a connected world. And so, our technological advancements and the growth curve, it continues along a steep trajectory. Yet the workforce has a curve going in the opposite direction, which we've seen that for the last 30 years. But, being partners in recruiting and developing the next generations, and we need to pass on that passion for the continuity of our organizations and our profession. And, we have to be agile and adapt to changes. And, but we're not only, designers and installers and maintainers of these systems, we're also end users. We too might be passengers in a self-driving car, and we'll expect that technology to work as promised.
Yeah, I do think that the future is so bright and it's so exciting. And I really do think that this is the absolute perfect time for these organizations, these communities, these sectors, and these businesses to come together. So, Jeff, thank you so much for joining us. I am really excited to meet you properly in person. Good taste in glasses, by the way. You're like my brother from another mother. We should really check into our parentage. There's a reasonable chance we might be
You
related,
betcha.
Jeff.
Glad to be here.
Take care,
Thank you.
Jeff, and I'll catch up with you again soon. Now, as I mentioned, there's not just one event that we are celebrating and excited about, but two, and waiting in the wings, we've got Mike Johnson, NECA's Executive Director of Codes and Standards, and Wes Wheeler, NECA's Director of Safety. These two experts are working on the ground to make this year's NECA Safety Professionals Conference absolutely unforgettable. So, Wesley, thank you for joining us, and Mike, good to have you. I know, Wes, that, safety is so important to everything that we do. And maybe some people think that, we're a pretty safe contractor. Safety is part of everything that we do. I know what we have to cover in safety, but Wes, our job on focusing on safety is never done.
You're absolutely right, David, because it really is a 7 days a week, 24-hour-a-day job for everybody, 365 days a year. It really is something that we can't let our guard down in any way, shape, or form, because when we do, things happen. So we like to really make sure that, we keep everybody at that high level of consciousness, that high level of safety. So we want everybody to go home at the end of the day. I mean, they've got family, they've got friends, and it's important for them to be together. And we don't want to see anybody get hurt on the job.
And Wes, being face to face, being in person, I've been attending NECA events now for the longest time. And although NECA did a phenomenal, world-class, leading-edge job on virtual, nothing quite beats being person to person so that we can have real conversations. Why is this so important when it comes to attending the NECA safety events?
Well, David, I think you said it earlier when you started off the broadcast. NECA is about family. And, you've been a part of the family now for a few years, and it sounds like you're going to be in the family forever. So we'd like to say again, thank you and welcome. Welcome to the NECA family. But when it comes to the safety professionals, the family of safety professionals have been through and been living apart the last 3 years. As you said, 2019 was the last time we got to shake hands, hug each other, have a drink together, socialize together, have that face-to-face, that one-on-one conversation. We know that when it comes to Zoom meetings and when it comes to team meetings and all these virtual conferences that we've attended, we've learned a lot. But we really lost that aspect to be able to sit down and have a one-on-one conversation with somebody and really get something out of it. That networking part of all of NECA events is really the biggest part of being a part of that family. And I know that Mike's a part of the family, I'm a part of the family, you're a part of the family, David Long's a part of the family. Everybody at NECA really makes us feel that way. So it's so important to be able to share that with each other.
Absolutely. And Mike, as you know, the world of safety, codes and standards are ever changing, and that can feel like a challenge. It can feel taxing, irritating for contractors, but actually it is always about protecting people, protecting communities and protecting businesses. How can this safety conference be a resource for those in the industry who want to make sure, Mike, that they are constantly staying up to date?
Well, thanks, David, for having us and asking us to speak on some of these issues. The NECA Safety Professionals Conference has grown into a premier safety event in the industry, and it's because of the work and contributions of many professionals outside of NECA, within NECA, and within the NECA family. It's all about the messaging. This is going to be the 10th in-person event, and it's all about the messaging that we bring to our audience. And our audience has experienced that we maintain a focus on trends, things that are happening on the front lines, and we focus on helping our members get it right. Safety is a core value at NECA. And it always has been, and greater emphasis is being placed on it all the time. We're leaders in the industry. NECA and IBW are leaders NECA on the construction management side and IBW on the workforce side. We're partners. We're aligned at the hip, and we're also on the front lines when it comes to compliance with legally adopted regulations, codes, and standards at the national or local level. That basically means we have to get it right. And we've become known as the valuable and authoritative resource to bring pertinent, on-point information to help our members attain compliance with those codes and standards. And I'd just like to thank you for hosting this session. I hope a lot of folks tune in, and we're looking for a nice audience at both the NECA Bixi conference and the NECA Safety Professionals Conference. It'll be great to be back in person. Like Wes said, and you mentioned earlier, there's no greater dynamic than that one of being in person. We can get a lot done virtually, but we're looking forward to being back face to face and networking in person.
I couldn't agree with you more, Mike. And there is lots and lots of excitement around. I'm seeing so many comments. We've got Raul coming in from Southern California. Great to have you. Let me see, who else have we got? We've got our audience coming in from Washington, D.C. We've got someone coming in from Erie. Who else have we got? Gosh, Larry is coming in from, is that Arkansas? AK chapter. Looks good. Jessica. We've got Susan. We've got Mike. And we've got Leslie. Leslie, if you want to go live, you need to contact LinkedIn and they will give you the permission. It is not a LinkedIn Live here with Nika without Leslie. Leslie has been at more of these episodes than me, and I'm the host. So, Wes and Mike, I got to ask you, for both of you, over a really short period of time, we've seen the definition of safety to expand beyond what goes on at our job sites. It's now grown into incorporate diversity, equity, inclusion, and of course our own personal well-being. Become incredibly important after the pandemic as we start to realize that, you know what, we all have our moments of fragilities, and when big challenges happen, they can cause us big personal problems. Now, both of these areas are now considered key facets of maintaining a positive culture of safety. Why do you folks both believe that these expanded conversations on mental health and our own personal safety are valuable topics with a positive direct impact for NECA and the industry? Wes, it's so important that we're having these conversations.
It definitely is, David. And, you touched base on it as far as the health. There's an initiative right now in the safety that the total worker health is what we're concerned with. We're not just worried about, keeping them safe, climbing a ladder. We need to make sure that, when it comes to their health issues, when it comes to their anxiety issues, things that, we normally used to have and were taboo in the past, it's something that we need to really take charge of. The construction industry leads the deaths by suicide rate per 1,000 persons, and we want to change that. We need to be in a part of that worker's issues so that we can actually help him to overcome that, help her to address the challenges that she's having. When we talk about the diversity and equity and inclusion, some of the things that's happening in safety right now is through OSHA regulations, we're actually looking at making sure that we have proper fit for females. It's not a one size fits all. We don't have PPE that's going to fit everybody on the job site. We need to have it specific for the person, because if it's comfortable, they're going to wear it. They're not going to take it off, and they're going to have it when they need it. So when we look at those and we look at the other issues such as leadership, I think you've seen a focus on what NECA's done in safety and safety leadership over the last few years. We're focusing in on the leadership, the risk management, because risk management is a holistic approach to everything safety. So when we look at that from the health side of it, from the heat regulations that are being promulgated right now, we want to make sure that we provide that worker with the best work site, the best conditions, and help him through any of the stresses that he may have. Because believe me, that employee, when he's engaged and you're engaged with them, when you're engaged with that employee, they feel a part of that family. And if they feel a part of the family, they're going to be productive. They're going to work safe. And that's one of the reasons why we really want to jump on the bandwagon and approach that.
Yeah, it is a really great point. And breaking news, everyone. I have been heckled from the comments, rightly heckled. I almost caused a diplomatic incident. AK stands for Alaska. Larry, I apologise, not only on behalf of me, but on behalf of all of Ireland. Larry, I'm going to make a point to come visit you in Alaska, I promise. So sorry, Larry. Apologies. Thoughts and prayers, deepest sympathies, apologies. So, Mike, over to you. When we talk about these mental health issues, about diversity, equity and inclusion, I think we all have to realize sometimes that it just starts with awareness and conversations, but we do have a big responsibility to, once we learn, to actually apply, Mike, and do something with it.
Absolutely. There is a greater focus on human performance and human error and direct relationship between safety at work sites and how an individual is performing based on their state of mind, events that are going on in their personal lives or even at work that can impact themselves as individuals or even the crew that works around them. As Wes mentioned, suicides in construction is a huge problem, and it was one of those and continues to be one of those unspoken problems that we're learning that there's far better results when folks realize it's okay to say I'm not okay. I need some help. NECA and IBW have great employee assistance programs to help with those states of mind, and sometimes it takes getting folks reaching inside the brains of folks to have them do a self-assessment and make sure that they recognize whether or not they're okay to perform certain tasks that include a lot of hazards, or they're not. But being able to admit that, we're a proud industry, and sometimes the pride gets in the way of saying, I can't do that today, or I'm not able to, not physically, mentally. So it is a problem. NECA's Safety Conference and NECA's Safety Leadership Summit have both done a great job of expanding in those areas to help folks understand. And it starts with communication, talking between the front lines and management, and talking as an association between peers, between different companies, how they deal with it. We get ideas from each other to improve all aspects of it. But the big thing is communication. We have to know there's a problem before we can do something about it. And we're working diligently to try and resolve some of those challenges.
It all starts with a conversation, and number one, having the bravery to ask a colleague or someone in your space, if it looks and seems like perhaps their mental state of mind is changing. They're maybe not on their A game. Maybe they're distracted or losing focus. Maybe that is a symptom of something else really important and really powerful going on in their lives. And I happen to think that in this post-pandemic era, our job is to not just to ask if you're okay, but maybe ask a second time, because when someone asks me if I'm okay, I always say, oh yeah, I'm fine. That's not always exactly how we're all doing. So look, I have never been more excited about the programs that NECA has got to make a difference to our contractors, to our members, and the collaboration that we've explored here today really is incredible. So I'm going to bring Jeff back on the screen, because Jeff is new family to me, so I missed you, Jeff. I'm going to ask all three of you, what are you most excited about as you look towards not only these two events, but 2022 and beyond, because the future is really starting to feel bright. Mike, what are you most looking forward to?
Well, I'm most looking forward to the in-person dynamic. Association work is all about collaboration and working together. NECA is an association of members, electrical contractors, that in the business world, they compete with each other for business. But when they're a part of NECA, they all contribute and collaborate to make sure that as an association, we're doing what we need for the betterment of the industry. And that really is that process is exponentially increased when we can continue our in-person dynamics. So that's so important. I'm looking forward to that, getting back. And when we started opening up our travel, my schedule filled right up right through August. I can't believe how quickly it did, but excited to work with all of those peoples at all of those meetings that we have coming up, and look forward to working with you too when we get more towards convention.
Thank you, Mike. I cannot wait. What about you, Wes? What has got you fired up for the future?
Well, I think looking at that opportunity to get back in front of people, Mike and I and, Jeff also, we conduct classes with our members around the country. We do presentations. It really gives us a chance to share, what we've learned, the practice that we are here at NECA as far as being able to provide the educational material, the resources, the NFPA 70E, electrical safety resources that have been developed. When we can go out and share that with people and with members and get that interaction, that really makes us happy. That we can leave at the end of the day saying, I've done something important. I've made a difference in somebody's life, and hopefully they're going to share that knowledge. What we share with them, we really hope that they'll take back and share it. And I'm excited about the opportunity to do that again in person, because that's really how we're going to accomplish this and get everybody on board. Thank you, David.
It sure is, Wes. When we see the whites of their eyes, that's how we know that we are really properly together. And of course, Jeff, I think these will be your big opportunity to meet as many people as possible for you. Since you're pretty new in the door, are you excited to get some good quality NECA hugs? Or I'm happy to give you a NECA hug socially distanced, Jeff, if that's your thing. I'm very flexible. I'm very open-minded, Jeff.
Yeah, for sure, baby. A side hug. Weird uncle, but no, I'm excited about our industry because it's a digital revolution that's happening right before our eyes, and that person-to-person networking and finding out how they're doing something, what industries are they in, because it's connectivity, it's integration, but it could be agriculture, industrial, healthcare. What is their approach to learning, to deploying it, and how have they been able to find new businesses? So that interpersonal, collaboration and networking is a miss. And I think Michael said that. Yeah, the virtual engagement is good, but you miss it when you miss their expressions and a hug if you wanted to do so. Anyway, I'm looking forward
Jeff, I'm sensing some hug hesitancy here, Jeff. So I want you to know that I will read the room, Jeff. How about, Jeff, what about a high five? Can we work up to a high five?
Absolutely, high five.
High five. Let's do one now. Virtual high five. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Wesley. Thank you, Mike. It's wonderful to have all of you here. And thanks to all of you for taking the time to share some of your thoughts with our audience. And of course, thanks to every single one of you for coming back and joining us for a LinkedIn Live. It's been a little while, and in the future, we're only going to bring you the big stuff here, the huge announcements, the events that you do not want to miss. And remember, it is not too late to register for both of these amazing conferences. All you need to do is go to NECASafetyConference.com for more information and to register, or to NECABixi.org for more details to make sure that you get everything you need. And remember, pass it along to your peers in the industry, because no one should miss out on these two phenomenal events. I hope that you've got them inside your diary, and if you want to stick around for a few seconds, let me give you a little sneak peek at what we have in store. But for now, from me, take care everyone, and I'll see you in person really soon.